Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Forgotten Weapons. Let's say, hypothetically, you're in Cody, Wyoming, having just visited the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, the Cody Firearms Museum, and the Natural History Museum, the whole set there. And you're tired of guns that look really nice, and you're ready for guns that are really in poor condition. Because there's something really interesting about that too. Well, Cody also has the Dug Up Gun Museum. Interesting. Let's go take a look. So I am currently at 12th and Sheridan, which is Sheridan is the main drag of Cody, and so I'm just going to turn right down 12th here. All right, let's head on in. It's up on the second floor. And so this is all dug up firearms, which normally the sort of thing that a collector is going to basically just ignore, glance at, and then move on to the stuff that's actually in, functional, complete condition. However, there's really a lot of interesting stuff that you can learn from looking at dug up firearms. So this starts pretty darn early, Independence era material. It is primarily Old West era, but there is a little bit that's earlier at the beginning, and you'll see it at the end. There's a little bit of later stuff, World War I and World War II at the end. But this is the sort of thing that gives you an idea of what sort of firearms were actually around, and what happens to firearms that are, lost out on the frontier. But let's see what we've got here. So this is U.S. Civil War. Some of these are in better shape than others. You can see the, that's about half of a revolver left, but the boot pistol's mostly intact. And there's some interesting, fairly rare stuff in here. There's a 50 caliber Smith carbine. Let's see what else we've got. And really, these cases are the sort of thing where you can spend a long time looking at each case, and you just keep seeing more stuff. For example, here's a cylinder, just a cylinder, but it's a percussion revolver, and one of the nipples was damaged and wouldn't fit a percussion cap, or wouldn't actually fire. The flash hole was clogged up. And so someone took a rimfire cartridge case and hammered it in backwards into the front of the cylinder in that chamber so that no one would accidentally load that chamber because it couldn't be fired. Just an interesting little detail on a pistol that was found out in the boonies. These guns, by the way, this museum is in Cody, but the guns come from actually all over the world. Most of these, this era is primarily United States, but when you get to the World War I and World War II stuff, a lot of overseas, guns that were found overseas. So let's see, what other sorts of things do we have in here? We've got a Spencer, all manner of both, the major brands like Colt, but then you'll also find plenty of, secondary sort of brand guns like this Le Fachot. Some of the stuff in here is actually really rare. Here's a first model Dragoon revolver. Oops, sorry. I was looking at one and the camera was looking at the other. There's a first model Dragoon. Got really nice engraved Henry up there. Not, I guess, so nice anymore, but. Got Indian Wars era guns. Here's one that had a little bit of an oopsie and blew up. Let's see if I can get past the reflection. There we go. There's what an Evans carbine looks like without its wood. Here's another little oopsie. That's why you don't make a pistol barrel out of brass. And there is the goofiest star revolver you've ever seen. All right, I don't want to need to hold some of the surprise for people who are actually going to come up here and visit the museum. But this continues with Old West, basically Old West era guns, down through here, and then we hit a little bit more modern here. You can see we've got a Swiss Vetterli in there, 1895 Winchester, which is tail end of the Old West period. Hey, you know I can find it anywhere. There is a French 1873 revolver. And then some 1920s. And over on the other side, we have the one case of World War I. A few more, little bit of polishing required on that. And then a World War II case. So the whole museum is run on a donation basis. It's free to come on in. They do actually have a few things available for sale, you know, bayonets, medals, a few little trinkety sorts of things. But definitely, if you're in Cody and looking for something to do gun-wise in addition to the Cody Firearms Museum, the Dug Up Museum is way more interesting, I think, than most people would expect.